Whoa, we are live. Are we live?
Hi, everyone.
Can you hear us? Let's see who has joined us. Hey, Joyce, how are you? Bill, hey, Yuri's on. Megan, how are you, Yuri? How's Panama City treating you? Gary and Lana, good to have you guys as always.
Nice. Kevin and Mary.
Kevin and Mary, Ruth
Gary
and
and
Harvey.
Lana. Lots of familiar names.
Ben Z, how are you, Ben? Yolanda, good to have you. Thomas. Hey, Vernon, how are you? I don't know if I skipped anyone. So if you are on here and have not introduced yourself yet, like half of you, please do by just typing in your join the conversation, I think it says. And then you bring up the chat and just tell us where you're from. Hey, Matt, Bill, Diana, James Phillips, Scott, a whole bunch of new names. Hi, Ian and Sue. Bill and Sally Schuster, how are you? Richard, good. How is Richard and Terry? Good to see you here. Hear you guys. See you guys. Hey, Belinda, Alan and Belinda, how are you guys? Okay, we're going to get started fairly shortly. It's 7 on the nose, so we have to do Latino time for sure. It's going to be 7:01.
Yeah,
Can't
exactly.
6:59. That's
Yeah, howdy from Mark and Alyssa. They're coming on tour with us soon.
right on.
Hey, guys.
Joey, Artie,
Alrighty.
Laura, Dave, Ontario, how are you? Southwest, huh? We'll call you a Westerner. I'm from BC, so. Alba and Paul just pouring on. All right. Now, there we go. All right, Megan.
Welcome,
We should
everybody.
start this off.
Yeah.
You want to start it off, Megan? I'm going to share the screen so people, many of you, we see a lot of Facebook, YouTube people. Well, obviously, if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, you can find us because you see our link there. But many of you have invited, and we want to tell you in less than 3 minutes who we are and what we do. Go ahead, Megan.
Yeah, so welcome. We're going to do a general Q&A tonight, but first we'll just tell you a little bit about who we are. So you can see our website here. We're Retire in Panama Tours. So we offer our 7-day all across the country tour, our 3-day Cherokee Highlands focus tour, and now, of course, our new Panama Total Access Pass, which is great for people who are already here, already know exactly where they want to live, and just need a little bit extra support or have very special needs that a group tour won't work for. So I'm Megan. I'm from Pennsylvania. I moved to Panama in 2018 with the Peace Corps and fell in love with Panama, learned a lot about the culture and the language, and did some really interesting community development projects for about 2 years doing that. Then I met my husband, Oscar, who is co-owner with Rod of Retire in Panama Tours. Right now, he's from Colombia, so he's doing a tour in Colombia, so he's not with us tonight. But typically, he's the one leading all of the tours, making sure everybody's having a great time. And then I love to meet our guests when they're here in the Boquete area. I have a little 2.5-year-old, so I spend more time here, but I am behind the scenes a lot, helping all of our guests get ready for the tours and helping all of our people who decide to move to Panama get organized and get them down here and make it really fun and stress-free and seamless. That's our goal. So that's a little bit about me.
Cool. You done already? I'm not ready now. Okay. My name is Rod. I'm from Vancouver, Canada. I moved to Panama just over 13 years ago, and I've never looked back. This is definitely my home forever. Already bought bought the plot. You know the saying, I didn't actually buy a plot. Okay, but
Thank you.
everything is here, ready to go. The urn for my ashes that are going to be on yours and Oscar's fireplace, right?
Exactly.
Or in the fireplace. Yeah. So I moved here without knowing anything about Panama. Just it was a good tax destination and the weather was nice. So that's why I moved to Panama. I sold everything I owned in Canada and boom, I'm here. And it's all worked out. A lot thanks to my business partner, Oscar, who usually sits over there. But he was already here helping expats move to Panama. So we have a long history in Panama in this business, and we know what we're doing. And we are huge variety. Like myself, I'm the old guy. I can understand you retired people. Oscar and Megan, Oscar knows everything about Panama. In his 16 years here, I tease him. We were teasing you. I bet you have driven 1,000,000 kilometers. I think he actually has. We were doing the math one night. Yeah, so like in this country. So, and the country's not that big, so he's been everywhere. And Megan joined us 6 years ago, and she's been a huge advantage to this company on the logistics side and the knowledge that she has, and the fact that she also speaks English, so she can help some of you expats. You should start giving private, not private, little group Spanish lessons.
Tutoring.
We should do that. Okay, because I need it more than anyone else. So, anyways, we started this business around, we're in 26, so 7 years ago, the group tours. Before that, we were doing private one-on-one help with expats or private tours. But we've been doing the group tours for a while now. And Megan mentioned we do 7-day cross-country or the 3-day Cherokee Highlands tour. Some of you on this call are coming on the 3-day Cherokee Highlands tour because you already know this is the end of the country you're going to end up in. And then we just launched this month, actually May 1, the Panama Total Access Pass, which is a very unique product. It is not a online guide that you get and have to figure things out. It is 3 things. It is a physical book. People, you know how many people have said, well, that's one of those renderings. No. Look at the little picture, guys. It's a physical book. Okay. Close to 500 pages. It is a lifetime members area access that has our Rolodex, Oscar's and my Rolodexes over the last 15 years of all the contacts that we use. It has direct access to the 3 of us. So you still, even though you're buying something online, you are getting a physical product and you still see the pretty faces of Oscar, Megan, and Rod. We did 2 of these yesterday afternoon of people who have bought the Access Pass, and we get in front of them privately on a video chat like this, and we start setting them up for their move. So that is available. There's 2 products available, and actually there's only 1 product of each available till the end of the month. We sell a limited number of these because, and every month it's a little different. It's depending how our calendars look, because even with this product, it takes our time because we're still going to be there and help you make the move. Okay.
And if you take the tour, this is included.
Yes, you automatically get, like the people coming on tour in June, we have the books. They're actually on a boat right now for all the June and July's books. So, and your members area is set up approximately 30 days before. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing the June Cherokee Highlands membership tour.
And then you book your one-on-one call with us whenever you're ready to make the move.
Ready to go. Perfect. All right, we are back. Now, tonight, guys, we are having another general Q&A. A general Q&A allows you to ask anything you want about making a move to Panama or living in Panama. Some of you are currently here. Now, you ask your questions directly in the chat, or you type the word live, L-I-V-E, and we will see it, and we will ask you to join us in the studio. You have to share your video and your camera, though. So if you want to come say hi, we love to meet new people. So if you want to do that, that would be great. And from this point forward, guys, please, questions only in the comment section. No more chatting or telling people how to do things, stuff like that. Those all we try to delete, but just no sharing personal links. Had someone doing that last week. They won't be joining us again. So, right. All right. So we are going to start. So go get in there and type your questions or the word live. If you want to just know something about, I don't know, healthcare availability, like topics, you can lead us towards the topic, which will bring up more comments. Hey, Mary, are you good now? I know it's a couple minutes after you said that, but I think everyone else is responding to us, so we should be here.
Somebody, I don't know if that was to us, but somebody just a little further up asked, where are you located in Panama?
Oh, we are in the town of Boquete, Panama, up in the mountains, 3,800, 700 feet.
Yeah. Rod and I have lived in a few different areas in the country, but all of us have been based mostly in Boquete most of our time.
Yeah.
But we've spent time around the whole country.
Okay, let's start this thing off with a question from Kimberly.
Hey, Kim.
And I typically read this aloud. You guys sitting in front of a computer, why is Rod reading this aloud? Some of you are on mobile devices or you have your video showing up and you can't read it. So I'm just, yeah. Do most towns have trash pickup?
Most? No. But that's if you're considering like all of rural Panama as well. But most towns that are pretty well populated, that most expats move to, yes.
Exactly. Yeah. And the way it's done is there's multiple ways. I've lived, so is Megan. Here in Boquete, we pay a fee for garbage pickup and water. Okay. That fee is a little steep, right? This year it's $84, and that's a year. So $7 a month for water and garbage pickup. And no word of a lie. I'm going to go into utilities. I'm sure more people will ask it. I'll say what I was going to say till then. So, but when I lived in Delega, they came to, it was kind of a gong show. You had to be home unless you had something worked out for, once you knew your garbage bin. So when I first moved there, I had to be home every Friday. They came around 11 to 12, and you would hear them from about 2 blocks away because they're honking their horn, yelling, Basiro, garbage, okay? And then you would meet them at your walk with your garbage, big bags, like big, I mean big. I made my big, like 1 week with garbage was $1 and small bags for 50 cents.
Mm-hmm.
So there's different communities do it different ways.
Yeah. The smaller communities a lot of times will organize things like that, even if it's not every week, maybe it's every month where they'll do trash pickup and let the community know. But that's more in rural areas. Most larger towns have organized trash infrastructure.
We now in Boquete have official looking garbage trucks, with the compactors. When I first moved here, it was cattle cars that they used. And they just threw that.
The cattle trucks.
Yeah, and they would be going down the highway and stuff falling out of them. Just do most. I just deleted it. We should have traded spots. Megan's going to do them next week.
Belinda.
Belinda. We'll be on tour at the end of June. How should we pack? Oh, you can only bring a knapsack full of stuff. That's it. Sorry.
Yeah, so that's a 3-day tour, our Cherokee Highlands tour. The first day will be warm. You'll head down to David, down to Barqueta Beach, get an idea of the closest beach town to the Highlands and the closest major city where the airport is, David. And then the next 2 days you'll be in Boquete and then Volcan Cerro Punta. It'll be a little bit chillier. So we recommend really light layers because even in Boquete, it could be, there's not a lot of wind, it could be warm, humid, or it could be chilly in the night. But never chillier than 60s Fahrenheit. Maybe a light rain jacket, really comfortable shoes. The sidewalks aren't great everywhere, although Volcan, they're wonderful. But generally throughout Panama, you want some comfortable walking shoes and maybe a second pair just in case if there are any rains that you get stuck in. But we'll have umbrellas for your use throughout the tour. And then it kind of just depends if you're typically on a 3-day tour. We have people coming for extra days too. So keep in mind any other places you're going to if you want bathing suits, sun protection, any of that stuff.
Perfect. Okay. Next question here. Can you please review the cedula benefits and process? By the way, this here is a cedula. This is your national ID card. Okay, ain't that pretty? I'm covering the number. Don't know why, because it's not really private in Panama. Everyone knows it's a public number. But what it is, it's a national ID card with an ID number. The benefits are huge and somewhat overlooked. Now, the process to get it, as soon as you receive your permanent cards, you can tell your lawyer, hey, I want to move ahead with the cedula. Whether you want them to help or whether you want to try it yourself. Most lawyers charge around $400 and they'll do it for you, or they will give you what you need. Like you got to get documents from them. That's why you got to ask your lawyer. It's called your resolution of immigration, whatever it is. Yeah, and then it's done in Panama City, only place where you can start. You can renew it at your local office, but originally it has to be done in Panama City. And within a few days, you'll have an ID card with a number that never ever changes. For those of you who do not get a cedula, you have your permanent pensionado card and your passport. Your permanent pensionado card has your passport number written right on it.
Or your permanent residency card.
Yeah, sorry. Permanent pensionado. Your permanent residency card, whether that's a
pension, friendly nations, whatever.
Yeah, whatever it is, and your passport. Now, the law in Panama is you must carry both those documents. You must carry your national ID. And in Panama, your passport number is your national ID number. You must carry your passport with you if you're ever asked for it. So that's the first benefit. Now, if you have a cedula, you can pack the passport away unless you travel. Number two, when you buy a house, a car, open a bank account, any other financial obstacles or assets and stuff, you must register it with your national ID. So if you don't have a cedula, you have to use your passport. So your title will have your passport on it. Your car registration will have your passport on it. Your bank account will. Your passport number changes every time you renew it, every 5 or 10 years, or every time you lose one or wash it in the laundry. And so then you got to go to all these places and change it to your new number. If you don't, the number of people we have had to help through this is crazy, guys. Many of you guys here are seniors and you're getting older. Some of you, we know people that have been living in Panama 25 years. They're in their 80s now. Now, if your documents aren't in order, meaning that you've gotten 2 passports, you've never changed it on your house or your car, and if you die, your spouse is going to, or your estate is going to have a heck of a time fixing those documents. So you need to get a cedula, and if you don't have a cedula yet, go get one and update all your documents, and then never do it again. And then write your wills and your stuff like that and get all that worked out.
Yeah, for U.S. folks, it's like having a social security number here in Panama.
But it's not a secret number like the social security is.
Yeah, it's just your unique national identifier number that never changes. Yeah,
the only thing personal that's kept on there is how you spell your name, I guess, and your birthday.
And our lawyer always says, like the authorities here don't see residency cards much. So when they look at it, they don't even know what they're looking at. Whereas cedula, the foreigner cedula, e-cedula for extranjero, looks just like the Panamanian ID card, except it has an E in it.
They know where to find the birth dates. You can use it for your discounts if you're over 55 for women, 60 for men. You don't have to worry about your pensionado visa. Mm-hmm. For your discounts. Okay, let's move on. Is it necessary to have a car in Boquete?
No.
Although we always have. Okay.
Yeah.
But my older one used to be broke down a lot, so a lot of times I didn't have a car. Now, you can get by without a car. What percentage of our people living downtown don't have cars? Probably half of them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably half do and half don't.
Yeah, there are some reliable taxi
Mhm.
driver numbers you can keep in your phone, and also public bus transportation is pretty
Learn some
reliable.
Spanish. I've taken the bus once or twice from Boquete in 13 years to David. It's $1.75, and you want to make sure you get the air conditioned one. It gets pretty hot by the time you get down there. So,
Which are most of them these days.
yeah. But taxis are typically $1 to $2 on the shared taxis anywhere you want to
Within
go.
Boquete area.
Yeah, within Boquete and Alta Boquete.
Mhm.
So you don't, but you will pay more to live right downtown where you have that ability not to have a car. You will pay substantially less to live in Alta Boquete, and sometimes it's worth having a car.
Yeah.
Because, you can find, if you're looking not to have a car because of a budget, and if you're looking to spend 6, 7, 800 a month, you'll get far superior product than also Boquete in the housing market than you will in downtown Boquete for that price. Okay. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Hey, Ruth and Harvey. We're
Hey.
coming back in November. Finally. Meet with the lawyers, get pensionado visa, planning to move in the spring. How soon should we get in touch with Ale to get healthcare insurance coverage? So you can't actually get health insurance in Panama until you have started the residency process. So as soon as you start that, then you can start working with Ale to get your coverage. And it could take, a month.
It can take like she says, 2 to 6 weeks to get approval. So if you want to start meeting with Ali when you're here meeting with the lawyer, that's a great start. And then by the time you get home, she'll be sending you quotes. You can't apply without having your medical evaluation here. So if you're going to be here 2 weeks, possibly you can get that done too.
Yeah, I think Rod and I both, when we worked with Ale, I probably took about 2 months to really look at all the different quotes.
I think 3 months with Ali to decide on which one I was going to go with.
Because there are so many options. So give yourself some time to work with her, ask questions, decide, and then you're ready. You know what you want to pick by the time you're moving here.
Okay. Let's talk about a bank reference letter. Megan, I was looking for something, sorry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so the bank reference letter is super simple. It sounds like complicated or hard to get. It doesn't have to have any reference to how much money you have or, a personal reference from your bank. It's literally just, so when you're applying for a bank account in Panama, they want a letter from wherever you're from, US, Canada, your bank there saying, so-and-so has had a bank account with us for how many years, and it is in good standing. That's pretty much all it has to say. And you have to have that letter or have received it within 30 days of actually applying for your bank account in Panama. Panama has some sort of strict rules with how fresh your documentation has to be in certain application processes. So you want to keep that in mind.
Cool. Thomas, health insurance costs. Well, it's anywhere from $100 to $500 a month. Now, I'm going to put that in a frame here, Thomas. To get the $100 plan, you're going to have to be 25 years old. Okay, but I'm 60. I'm the average of the people actually moving here. We have a lot of 40s and 50s moving here. We have a lot of 70s moving here. So that 60 to 65 range is the average. I have a $1 million coverage with 0 deductible on hospitals and emergencies, 1,000 deductible on all the other stuff, no copay. So basically, but car accident, heart attack, anything like that, it's 100%. The only thing that comes out of my wallet is my health card, my insurance card, and I pay $248 a month. Now that will be much lower if you're younger, and it could be higher, up to double if you're 75. Okay,
And that's international as far
Yes.
as Central America and Colombia.
yeah, well, yeah, no, mine is fully international.
And then a higher deductible outside.
Exactly. What the deductibles and copay I talked about are for Central America and Colombia. And then I have a $10,000 deductible if I go to the States or Canada, and I just buy gap insurance when I travel to cover my deductible. And it's the same thing. It just covers everything. It's 100% coverage. So it's not bad. So international insurance is available.
There are plans up to $800 a month for like the fullest of the fullest coverage. But like Rod was saying, if you play around with it a little bit, you can really cut that number back.
Yeah, and it makes no sense for me to have something that covers my doctor's visits. A doctor's visits in rural Panama is 15 to 25 max. In Panama City, it's about 35 to 45, like to see a GP.
Now, if you are a world traveler, an avid traveler, maybe that
you might want
$800
more.
plan with worldwide could be a great option for you.
Yeah, exactly. International insurance is only offered to those who enroll before their 75th birthday. As long as you're enrolled before your 75th birthday, you get it for life. That's not a problem. So how about for those of you over 75, like Diana is asking, for those of you over 75, there are other products in Panama. Let me show you one of them. I'm just going to bring it on screen. This is called Family Medical Care. It's a very similar plan. This is offered throughout the country in Cherokee, Coronado Hospital, Okay, and in Panama City.
Fernando.
Yeah, San Fernando in Panama City and in Coronado. Okay. There's also Santa Fe Hospital has the same plan, about the same price. Okay. So this here is, let's go back to page 1. It's a copay. So I just got to get back to, there we go. It covers 70% of all this stuff. Emergencies. I know some of you are probably saying, I can't see this. I'm trying to get it larger. There we go. Emergencies, specialist doctor's visit, dental emergencies, funeral services. Yeah. You guys are probably laughing when you see this $1,000 for a funeral service. Yeah, that's about what the cost is. To 1,000, maybe 1,400, 1,500. Unfortunately, we've had to be involved in a couple in the last 2-3 years, and those are cremations type services. Laboratory tests, X-rays, diagnostic, hospitalization, maternity. So it covers all that stuff. And here are the rates. Now you can see, computer's acting up, guys. There we go. Individual plan. So if you're over like 75 or over, it's 125. And if you're 80 or over, if you're over 75, you can't just fill in the form and expect they're going to accept you. Well, everyone at that age is going to have to see a doctor, but they do have some discretion over 75. But we've had several of our guests get this package without a problem. So the highest it could go up to is 180. And then again, once you have it, you won't lose it as you pay. It's not full insurance. It is a copay. It is with the best private hospitals throughout the country. And it's better than nothing, I would say. Okay.
And the benefits of going with, a local broker who can really explain to you not only the different plans, but also, what the coverage is, what the hospital should be charging you or not charging you, but also recommendations for where to go, local doctors to use. So your premium is not going to be more working with a broker, but you are going to get all those additional benefits.
Perfect. Phil and Sally. So I'm going to get a little closer. Sally. How easy is it to bring your pets? Yeah, you won't be able to. You're going to have to give them away to a family member.
Bring your pets.
We also
We're
have
pet
a
lovers.
sister company. We offer pet relocation services. I do minimum 1 per week, sometimes 2. So over the last 5 years, I've done hundreds and hundreds. That's not an issue whatsoever. If you go fill in this form, I'll give you some advice. Then you can decide whether you want to do it by yourself or I'm on the wrong page. I'm not sharing it. No. Or if you want a little bit of help doing it.
Yeah, every situation is a little different depending on what kind of pets you have, how many.
Yeah, I would have to ask you 12 questions on this thing before I could even begin to tell you how it's going to work. But if you just go to this page, I'm typing in to the chat right now, Panama Pet Relocation, and then I will respond to you tomorrow with everything you'll need to do to move your pet.
It's not complicated, but you do need to make sure you're getting the right information. There's some bad information out there.
I always tell people it's not difficult, but it's complicated. So it's not complicated, but it's difficult.
Well, if you have the right guidance, it's not complicated. It's the timeline is a little short and can feel a little bit stressful.
Yeah,
sometimes.
and there's some sweet tricks that we use now in it that really shortens the timeline and takes the stress out of people's lives. So
yeah.
Okay, how long typically does it take to leave Canada and become a permanent resident of Panama? Well, Artie, if you ain't going back there, and if you are a pensionado, meaning you are receiving a pension of $1,000 US dollars or more per month, or $1,250 for a couple US dollars, that is, so you're looking at $1,375 and $1,750 Canadian. If you're already receiving that, you're looking at 6 months from the time you get on that plane. You'll be a permanent resident of Panama, and you don't have to go back to Canada. If you're not a pensionado, you can do it for a $300,000 investment, woohoo, in 30 days.
Yep. With
the qualified investor's visa, or a $200,000 investment, and that takes 2 years to become a permanent resident. The easiest way is the pensionado. I always tell people, no matter how much money you have, the pensionado is the easiest. Do that one.
But as soon as you apply, you'll have your temporary card and you're welcome to stay. So it really just takes 1 day to leave and be here and get going with it. Yeah, you do want to make sure you're connected with a good lawyer before you come.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, otherwise I should say that. I really should have put that. Yeah. If you have the right contacts, you'll be a permanent resident within 6 months.
Right.
If not, it could be several years.
Yeah, unfortunately, we hear a lot that people did not pick a good lawyer and their residency does not get done on time.
Okay. I got a question from Ben. Can we meet one of you this coming week in Boquete? Well, Ben, I do not recognize the name, so I'm assuming you're not an existing client. Am I right there?
I don't know. It's just Ben Z. So
it doesn't help. So I just put our contact form. We need a little bit more contact. We don't do consulting by the hour because we can't help you by the hour. It's a whole package. If you're looking for our personal assistance to help you make the move, then you're without a tour because you're already here. Then you're looking at the Panama Total Access Pass. And yes, we do those in person if you're here. Let's talk Medicare and living in Boquete. Okay, there is zero benefit, zero use of Medicare in any of Panama. Some Medicare Advantage plans allow you to use them here in case of emergency. There are 2 hospitals in David and 3 or 4 now in Panama City that are billing Medical Advantage after they determine that it's an emergency. We've already seen some challenges there. I'm not an advocate of that at all to replace your health insurance here because this is the situation. Number one, you have to lie every year on your medical advantage forms and on your tax forms that you live in this zip code, which you don't. Now, maybe you maintain a house there, but it's very, very clear that they want to know where you live. To be covered by Medicare, you must live in the United States in the zip code that you declare on your Plan B, C, D forms every October to December during the enrollment period. So if you're okay with doing that, then fine. So you come here, you're going to use Medical Advantage as your primary health care. You get in a car accident, boom, you're going to be transferred to the hospital. They're going to look after you. There, hopefully someone there can find your card that shows, or you're going to pre-register. That's what they're doing now for emergencies. They're pre-registering people in these hospitals, so if they show up, they know they can fix them and they don't have to take a deposit and they can bill the insurance. But here's the things we're seeing. We've had somebody living here. They sold everything they own in the States and they're using Medical Advantage plan. And they're living here. Their doctor says, you need a heart stent. Oh, I can get that done. I got Medical Advantage. No, you can't. Because the doctor said you need a heart stent in the next month or two. That means you got to go back to the States to the zip code you registered in and have the surgery done there. Mm-hmm. So that's why it's not. And if you do have a major accident, only the part of the emergency and the surgeries and the stuff, that first care is covered. If you need additional care down the road, you could have issues getting that covered. And we had and also read your terms and conditions very good. Many Medicare Advantage programs say that you can be out of your zip code for 6 months a year. Now, there's a couple here. They've gone back to the States because they kind of spent all their savings on a medical emergency here. He had a major heart attack, quadruple bypass, was in the hospital a month, an ICU, a couple of weeks. The bill was over $40,000. This was 4 years ago. They had to pay up front, and then the wife he was recovering, but he was in the hospital. She was working on the receipts and trying to get them into her insurance plan, and she got audited by healthcare.com. And the guy asked her one question, and she did not know it made any difference because, I don't know, probably listened to somebody online that said that it's fine doing this. But she was asked, how long have you been in Panama? Oh, we've lived here for 7 years. We no longer live in the States. Guess what? They were declined, obviously. So that is my feeling. I believe it's an excellent program for you people that are part-time here. And for when you first get here, as you figure things out, you don't need to rush on your insurance because you got emergency, as long as you have a way to go home. Because if you're living here full-time, you sold everything at home, and you're diagnosed with cancer, your Medicare Advantage does not cover that in Panama. You're going home for treatment. And that, for a lot of people, that can be an issue if you don't have a home. Okay. Where on the Pacific, an hour or two from Panama City, would be affordable? Hey, Keith, good question.
Yeah, what kind of budget are we working with, Keith? I think affordable could be different. Number for different people.
But if you want expats around Chambay, the people living in there for under 1,000 rents, or in the 120, 130, find brand new beach condos.
Even Gorgona, San Carlos.
Yeah. If you get off of the water, Keith, you can live in Las Lajas, the town of Las Lajas, which is the main town that Coronado is just south of. It's the town where Ray is, and where you all see those pictures of all the commercial stuff. And that's not Coronado. That's actually Las Lajas. You can find rentals there for Panamanian style for $400 a month, $400 or $500 a month.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Even what is it called? Veracruz, or like there's some other beach towns just right right before Coronado area, outside of Panama City. So there are so many beach towns and gated communities, non-gated communities on the Pacific coast in that hour to 2.5, 3 hour span outside, just to the west of Panama City. And if you're looking in that area, definitely take a few days. Get in touch with us if you need help, but really spend some time there because there are so many different communities to look at in that area. But definitely you can live affordably.
Yeah. Yolanda, do they recycle here? Are we recyclers?
No, not really.
Yeah. I wish more people would. But it doesn't matter. You can have all these up front, oh, we got recycle bins. Well, watch where they're going. Like that we've had a few plans in place that have worked for a year or two where they're taking to Costa Rica. I'm not sure what they do with them. I don't believe that's sustainable recycling if you don't know what the next country you're dumping your recyclables is doing to the recyclables.
They've been trying. It's kind of been working, and then they change it, and then at least in our area of the country, in Panama City, I think they do have some better recycling systems, but in the rest of the country, no good systems in place currently.
Ben Z, what is the difference between the cedula and pensionado visa? Hey, Ben, I'm going to correct you. You're not wrong. You wouldn't know. You probably just heard it. It's cedula. Lose the R. I see some people repeating it. So it's cedula. Mm-hmm. No problem. It's a Spanish word.
Yeah.
What's it stand
So
for?
it's your ID card here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't replace a pensionado. It's the next step after you get any permanent visa. You have a choice to get a national ID card.
It's an additional form of identification that you get access to once you have your pensionado.
I don't even know where my where my permanent visa card is. I don't keep it anymore.
Yeah, me neither.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need it.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay.
And what does it cost to get the e-cedula?
With a lawyer, you're looking around $400. By yourself, you can do it for about $100, but then you're gonna have to spend a day or more, at least an overnight in Panama City.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're in the city, it's definitely worth it. If your Spanish isn't good, bring a translator with you. You got to get the paperwork from your lawyer. Just ask them, I need my papers so I can get my cedula. And you go to the tribunal. It's that big official looking building with columns. It looks like the Coliseum. Yeah. It's in the Albert Clayton type area. And and you go
There's
down there.
There's some facilitators that might do it for a little bit less. You definitely want somebody to help you with it. That'll just make it go a lot quicker. But if you're already working with your lawyer,
you're just gonna go there.
So much easier.
You're gonna have your pictures taken.
We'll take you in and out in less than an hour.
You'll sign. You'll come back the next day to get your card. So, yeah. How good is the medical system? Well, it can be excellent. The private medical system is excellent. And where I say excellent, yes, we have lots of the same equipment that the U.S. has. But if I need an MRI, there's a good chance I could get one tomorrow. If not, it would be Monday. If I need to see a specialist, I go. Let's say I've seen people do this. I've been so healthy, but a friend went to the local doctor in Boquete, and the doctor said, I want a specialist in Cherokee Hospital to listen to your heart. And so he goes, just a minute. And he walks out of his office, comes back a few minutes later. Okay, I got your appointment for Tuesday. Is that good? Okay. It was like Friday when he saw him, so he was going to see Tuesday. And then the doctor told him you need a heart stent. He brought in another specialist for a second opinion. Yep. When would you like to do it? We got next week open. That's the type of healthcare you get in Panama. So it's just much better than what I experienced with my family back in Canada.
Yeah. And most doctors I have seen will sit with me, depending, if it's a simple general doctor for something silly that I need help with, maybe 15, 20 minutes. If it's a specialist, I'm typically sitting with them for 45 to 60 minutes, talking with them, They're giving me their private phone number to do follow-ups with. So I think a lot of people are really impressed with that quality of care.
Yeah.
And then most doctors actually share their time between the public and private system. They'll have their own private offices in the private hospitals or their own private clinics, and then they spend part of their days in the public hospitals too. It's just the difference is that there's higher demand at the public hospitals, and sometimes they're not always well staffed or well stocked with supplies and medications.
Hey, Ben. Yeah, no, Allie does not work with any type of Medicare stuff. Allie sells insurance from international companies. There are a few retired insurance guys shilling the Medicare Advantage down here, but it definitely wouldn't be a Panamanian. So, what are the pet transport requirements for flying privately? Everything is exactly the same, but there's a 30-day window, not a 10-day window to get all your documents done. Can't read that one.
Michael, is there a benefit to marry in Panama if already married in the U.S.? Wife is Panamanian and dual citizen.
Yeah, no. Your U.S. license is valid here in Panama. With all once you when you go through immigration, it gets authenticated there, and if you're coming in here, he said something. Wife is Panamanian and a dual citizen.
If you are eligible for the pensionado visa, that's going to be your most affordable, fastest option for residency.
But his wife is married, is a Panamanian.
Yes.
Yeah.
Still, if Michael is eligible for pensionado, that's the better route. If you're not, then you can do the married to a Panamanian route for visa, and that would be your second option.
Yeah, it's a lot. Pensionado is so easy. It's that 6 month married to a Panamanian. It's 2-year process.
Mm-hmm.
I think they come check your house if you.
They do some interviews.
Yeah, peek in the windows.
Yeah.
Are you actually married? Flight cost David de Bocas del Toro. Unfortunately, and it doesn't. There is no David de Bocas del Toro. It's David to Panama City, 125. Panama City to Bocas del Toro, 125.
There were a couple kind of emergency ones happening recently because of all the roadblocks and protests, but unfortunately, no regular David Bocas flights.
They used to. I really don't know why they stopped, but anyways. Is there a Medicare Advantage plan still? Okay, Ben, I think, you must have typed your question in after I did my entire medical advantage spiel. Yes, some medical, only as emergency health care will a Medicare Advantage plan.
Oh, thank God, Neil is bringing his WD-40 for your chair.
Well, can you hear it?
Yeah, all the time.
I have WD-40 in the other room, Neil.
And this used to happen with your old chair, and now it's happening with your new chair.
That's incredible. I know.
Thank you.
Okay, there we go. Pre-existing conditions. Yes, all healthcare is going to consider pre-existing conditions. There's no such thing as the Affordable Care Act here, or no such thing as government funded Medicare that pre-existings don't count. But you got to first think, what is a pre-existing condition? A pre-existing condition is not high blood pressure that is controlled by high blood pressure medicine. That's not you won't be excluded for that one thing. Nor is it high cholesterol that's controlled by high cholesterol. But let's say you have high blood pressure and high cholesterol, and you're taking medicine for both. You go for your labs, and your blood pressure is high and your cholesterol is high. They're going to ask why, or they might say, "Come back and see us in 2 months and get your life together, because something's wrong." You maybe the night before you had a pint of ice cream and 6 beer, which you don't want to do before you go. But if you have had breast cancer, chances are you will be excluded from breast cancer for sure, and possibly some other cancers will be exclusions in your health care. But if you have diabetes where you take injections of insulin every day, you will not get health care in Panama. It's as simple as that. Same as if you had things like multiple sclerosis or some other type of diseases like that, you would probably not, well, pretty well not qualify for health insurance there. Hey, Melanie, it's our favorite Thursday night time too. Okay. Cost of a small rural house. Okay, don't know if that's rent. Let's give them a couple examples. Let's go to Delega. What do you think? We both live there.
Yeah.
So something that a North American would live in.
You paid $400 rent.
No, he said small, like the one next to me, the place I rented and rented out. There's a little
like
two-bedroom,
200 or something.
Yeah,
like
it was
that.
$250 rent. To buy that would probably be about 50 grand, 40, 50 grand.
Yeah, I lived in a
there's actually a
very
few of those for
rustic, even more rural area.
It was.
And that was $90
Yeah,
a
her
month
rent
house.
was $90. I couldn't believe it. But there was no
Pretty
screens.
rustic though.
Your windows didn't really have screens on them.
What they call the
So-
ornamental
Oh, you said
windows
right,
here,
yeah.
which are just holes in the cement wall.
I also ran, I don't know what area of the country you're considering, Thomas. I also lived in a larger Dolega place. I had a 2,000 square foot, 4-bedroom, 2-bath on a nice property in a nice neighborhood. And I paid $400 a month.
Mm-hmm.
This is Panamanian style. It did not have granite countertops or stainless steel appliances.
It's a mismatch of tile. That's the way we like
mixed
to do
match
it.
of floor tiles. Yeah, it was whatever was on sale when they were building that house.
Yep.
And it had electric shower heads, which people think, oh my God, is that safe? Well, I don't hear of people dying from them. Have you ever heard of
any issue?
Yet houses explode in the States almost every day in the wintertime from gas explosion, from natural gas, or people die from asphyxiation. So
maybe they've got it right.
Yeah. Housing with pets. Well, we both have pets. I've had pets ever since I've been here.
Mm-hmm.
You're slightly less limited. If
We've
you're looking,
lived in 5 different rentals with pets.
Yeah, I've lived in
7.
7 or 8. Well, my Panama City ones too, because I
Right.
had a pet there. So you might be 20% less of the listings. And most of those are the really high-end stuff I was never looking at, because the people that rent really high-end North American stuff that's fully furnished might not want your cats or your big dogs sitting on their leather. Okay, Phil and Sally. You know, I just published a blog post like 3 hours ago on this exact
monthly
topic.
Income requirement if you buy your home?
There we go. So
I think, are you asking about like for a mortgage?
no. I think he's asking how much to live.
But he says monthly income requirement if
Well,
you buy.
Yeah, there is no requirement at all. If you're buying your house for a pension, for a Friendly Nations visa, they're going to ask for your tax returns, but they don't care if you're making $500 or $1,000 a month. Like,
Because you would be buying it
Yeah.
outright.
Yeah.
Most foreigners do have to buy homes here outright.
but if you're asking how much you need to live if you're buying a house, I have here comfortable couple is $2,500 to $3,500. And you're going to be living very comfortably. You're going to have health insurance. You're going to have a car. You're going to have to pay insurance. I pay every time I tell people my insurance, I pay $450 for insurance. They go, is that a month? No, it's a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it starts like a single, frugal single can live $1,200 to $1,700 a month.
And
And
is
I
that
know
including rent?
Well, this here, yes. This here actually including cheap rent. Like the low, like frugal rent.
Mm-hmm.
Comfortable single, you're going to rent a little bit more. Frugal couple, you could easily do it. Live in a $600 to $800 Alta Volquete house or a $800 Gorgona house. The things you guys have to remember, I took our group into my living room back there. I always print off my current utility bills. And we had a group here, so I was giving them a rentals talk in my actual home, showing them a living room, the place I rent. And I go, before you guys budget on rent or how much you buy in a house, how much do you guys spend a month on utilities? And I went around the room. I was quite amazed with some of them, 400, 300, 600, 700. My utilities for my 2,300 square foot, 4-bedroom, 3-bath home are under $120 a month. That's everything. And when I say utilities, I'm including my cell phone, my internet, and my Netflix and my Prime. So like my TV subscriptions. You know, when your electrical is 25 and your gas is 5 and your water is non-existent, like we talked about
When
before.
you rent your water and
your water is always
garbage
paid for,
is
but
included.
even if you owned it, $7.
Yeah.
So most people in North America are spending hundreds and hundreds more on utilities than you'd have to pay here. Yes, if you live on the beach or in Panama City or David, you're going to be spending money
more
on
on
electricity.
air conditioning.
Some people we know spend $350, but we got our Gorgona friend. She always shows up her receipt. She spends between $50 and $70 because she doesn't like the air conditioning. She keeps all the windows open instead.
Or I think they live on the 14th floor
That helps
beachfront, so they have a nice breeze.
They have a nice breeze. Hey, Ben, the only visa that you don't have to be physically in Panama twice to apply for is the qualified investor's visa. All the other visas, you have to come down and apply. So you were asking the pensionable earlier, and then return back within the 6-month period to collect your final visa. Your lawyer will let you know when it's ready.
Melanie asked, can I open a checking account before I move there?
Not with most banks, nope. And if some say yes, you can do it, I still wouldn't do it because it's against the Governor of Banking's rules. You must be a resident or in the process of residency. And here, I know people say you can open up a bank online. I've yet to found one that you're going to open up online without a cedula. They all require cedulas. And I've been recently doing this because I'm writing a banking article, and I recently opened up 2 online accounts yesterday.
Guy asks if you're short on the pension
Okay, there we
requirement,
go.
can you get an annuity to cover the difference?
Well, Guy, as long as here's one thing you can do. You can buy property or a house for $100,000. Then you only need $750 a month. So, but there are some annuities that can work, but this is you can't convert something into a self-directed annuity. That will not be accepted because every pension must be a letter from the pension administrator, which is notarized, stating that this pension is for life. So if you go to one of the big life insurance companies and buy one of their products, like give them the money, you can never get it back. You just get your monthly stuff. Yes, you can make that work. It's going to cost you a little more to get the pension. And when I say a little, 100, 200, because there's a lot more paperwork involved with a private pension like that, because the government isn't used to them. They're used to Social Security. They're used to Canada pension or military pensions or teachers' pensions. When you get these annuities from life insurance company, first of all, they have to prove that you can't cash it out and prove that it's for life, and to get financial statements of the company, all kinds of things.
Yep. John asks, have you had anyone use Schwab banking from the USA?
Yeah, many people here use Schwab.
A lot of people.
Yeah.
And we've also had a lot of people have issues because so many people recommend it because of the way they will reimburse international charges. But once you get caught actually living here permanently, they don't like that too much.
Yeah, Schwab's got a couple of levels of accounts, and they're high investor level. Those are going to be 6-figure accounts. They will, for the rest of your life, reimburse your international transaction fees. But for the basic savings account, stuff like that, no, it's right in their terms and conditions. You can, while you are traveling, enjoying your holidays abroad, we'll reimburse your bank but it's irrelevant. You know, the last time, I don't even know if my foreign bank cards work anymore. Why would I use them here? I would have no purpose. Get here, open up your accounts. There's no fees. You look more like a local. You're more respected here by the locals, like in the stores. And taking out your flashing your Citibank, and oh look, Mr. Gringo. So I have a Royal Bank. I have a Bank of America. They're in my drawer. I don't even carry them with me.
Can you get by with English if still learning Spanish? Absolutely. Definitely. Especially in some of the more populated towns. In the
Okay.
rural
Oh, we got to push through
countryside, you'd have to learn some Spanish.
Okay, we're gonna do the
Rapid fire.
rapid fire. Here we go. Blue Cross. You need to call them. There are some plans down here. They're great for travel plans, but you got to tell them you're going to be permanent. I have found them way more expensive, like including Cigna and other North American plans, way more expensive than what other plans are here. But dual citizenship in regards to really no difference on your citizenship in regard to your health plan. Many foreigners get many Panamanians buy international plans also if they travel a lot. 3,300 after taxes Canadian per. Okay, I don't know.
That's a good monthly budget.
The U.S. dollar with Canadian pension. Well, Rob, I've been here 12 years, and right now the dollar's at the same part it was, 13 years ago, and it's been up and down since I've been here. So to me, I just have kind of forgotten about it, but I'm not really getting paid in Canadian dollars. So you people that are, you just got to be careful. It won't affect, you don't have to worry about your pension if you're tight, because you only have to apply once. Quickly driver's license in 30 seconds or less.
Yeah, on a tourist visa here, you can drive with your foreign driver's license for 90 days. As soon as you apply for residency, you need to get a Panamanian driver's license.
Okay. Valerie Smith, Blue Cross Blue Shield. It's accepted here. They'll let you in. They're still going to have to pay for it and get reimbursed because that is a foreign type insurance.
Yeah, there's a Panamanian version.
There is a Panamanian. That's why I say talk to your agent and tell them what your plans are if you're coming here. But if you're visiting, yes, a lot of people use that insurance. We see it all the time. How much walking is there on the 7-day tour?
Light walking.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Same as on the 3-day tour.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, there's no major hikes. Oscar sometimes wants you guys to climb the volcano, but we don't do it.
No, and there's always places to sit if you need to sit down.
Hey, Mary, the high-speed train 2 weeks ago. If you go back to our Sunday news, they have already listed all the stops that are going to happen around the country. They're expecting to break ground hopefully in December this year. Pensionella visa, $1,000 for a single, $1,250 for a couple. We're at half a kilometer. No problem with that, Mary. You won't be going. We don't walk more than half a kilometer at one time. Quickly, you guys had so many questions.
There's a few at the bottom.
My pension is from a teaching career. Oh yeah, don't you worry. They're gonna have Mary. The lawyer will walk you through that. We do teachers all the time. You guys have a special site that you can get a document from for cases like this. I don't know what BCBS is, but if they want $428 a month, I call BS.
Blue Cross Blue
Blue Cross
Shield.
Blue Shield. Thank you, Mary. Wants $480 a month to continue to cover me. Well, that might not be bad, but you just want to make sure that the hospitals accept the insurance here. But we can go over all that, Mary, when you're, when you're on tour and find out what's going to be the best for you.
Yeah.
Okay, just one question I left here, and surprised we haven't got cut off yet. Buy a home, briefly go over the process to purchase a permanent home. Hey, Robert, the process is really no different than in the USA. Just one big difference is your lawyer is more important than your real estate agent. We don't have title insurance and stuff like that here. Your lawyer has to do about 3 times the work, and it's going to charge about 3 times as much as a typical U.S. lawyer would for a close of a home. But the whole process, we have an MLS here, so find yourself one agent, get tied to that agent, and say, I want to see this house, this house, this house. If they can't show it to you, find a different agent. Okay. And then, the process is the offer, work with the lawyer on it and the real estate agent. Like I say, the lawyer is the most important part of the play here because there's been a lot of scammers in Central America, including Panama. We had someone looking to buy a piece of land that had 3 titles on it in 3 different names. So that happens a lot here.
Let's take Stephen Alley's questions too. Just
Stephen
right
Alley's?
about Robert.
Okay, we
That's
will. Last
kind of
one.
relevant to this.
How do you buy a house when applying for friendly nations? You navigate the banking system without a cedula. You don't need a cedula to open a bank account. Cedula is at the end, guys. Even with the friendly nation, you won't be getting a cedula for 2.5 years.
But I think a lot of people get confused about friendly nations. Do I do the residency first? Do I find the house first?
Well, put it this way. If you're doing that deal, the lawyer works with the banks to get you set up. Well, you don't even need a bank to buy a house. All the money can be sent through a lawyer, a third party, or to the owner. But you can also get a bank in the process of residency. You don't have to have residency to open a bank account. You need a letter from your lawyer stating that you are in the process of the residency. Mm-hmm.
Great. I think we got them all.
Yeah.
Thanks for all the questions tonight. Those were good.
That little end was a bit of a marathon. But guys, remember who we are. Visit us. I put our website in the chat.
Yeah.
Come on,
we still got tours open at the end of this year. We would love to see some of you guys. We'd love to
have you along. There is a single spot in July.
Is there?
Yeah, it is. We got a single spot in that July tour. We don't need to fill it.
I think one couple spot in September, maybe.
Yeah, one couple spot in September, and we got a couple spots for each tour in November through. But check us out. We Retire in Panama Tours, and even if it sells out tonight on Sunday, the Panama Access Pass will be back on sale with 10 units for sale for the month of June. Thank you guys very much for joining us.
Thanks. See you next Thursday.
Bye.